Hello and welcome to today's first stream of the week. We are going to be working with the brand new early access Use Fathom API, which is super exciting. I've been pestering them all over Twitter for a long time to let me have a peek at their API, and they let me have a go. So if you don't know who Fathom are, think Google Analytics, but better, privacy focused, and kind of not evil. Best way to describe them there. And yeah, I've run all of my analytics through Fathom myself. Not that I get many site visitors, admittedly, but there are some big sites on Fathom, and they collect some absolutely crazy stats. Yeah, they're having spoken to Jack, one of the founders, it's just crazy what they do. So this is Fathom. They are awesome, and you can sign in. This is API tests that I made. Here we go. Here's this site. Here's my site. As you can see, not really many visitors. I don't really use my website much. Yes, early access. It was Jack very kindly reached out to me, and because I'd been pestering him, I suppose it was put your money where your mouth is and get on and do something with it. So, evening, wife. This is my wife, everyone. Say hello. She's currently watching the kids while I do a stream. So, this is Fathom. If you don't know who Fathom are, go to use Fathom. I'll drop the link in quickly. They are definitely the sort of company that I love. You know, they got interest in tech, they care about what they're doing, and you know, they're just all around nice people. So make sure you check them out. Not only that, they got a really cool design on the website, and that cat is amazing. The API documentation is now live. You can't access it yet. Can't generate your API key yet. I am lucky enough to have been given an API key I can use, which will be trashed after tonight, I'm assuming. So here we go. Here's their API documentation. Very clean, very straightforward. It uses, I believe it is using Jigsaw by Titan underneath, which is pretty cool. You get got some nice responses. Very clean, very easy to read straight away. Not using dark mode. I'm actually on light mode, so I don't know if it's. Let's check. Let's open up. Let's check, see if we've got any switch going on. Oh, take that back. Take that back. They can use dark mode. They've got light. Oh, I love websites that enable you to do that. Beautiful. I'm going to stick with auto, and it'll probably swap over at 8 o'clock. I believe it swaps over. So you'll probably see my screen fade to darkness, which is kind of a cool effect to watch. I did say I was going to be running a raffle tonight. I believe I am running that at... What time am I running that? What time was I running that tonight? In literally 1 minute. So I will get ready to run that now. First thing I need to do. So this is the tweet that we are going to raffle. So if you haven't seen it already, there's a new Mac terminal called Warp. It is, again, another awesome little product. It's supercharged, Rust powered. So if you want to see a quick demo, I've got it here. So clear, let's say, what directory am I in? I'm there. Let's go to GitHub me. And then that. So then I can say, actually, I'm Steve. I can go to here. I can copy the command, and if I want to, I can paste that in, or I can put some vertical space in there. I can start adding some lines in there. And you could do some pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to lie. You could do some pretty cool stuff. So what I'm going to quickly do is, as the time is 10 to 8, I can go to here. I can grab this ID. And this is all thanks to Erica Heidi. Now, run a raffle. Drum roll, please. Who's going to win? Charlie. So what I'm going to do is grab a quick screenshot of this. Capture that. And we'll grab that later. Oh. Did we save it? Check. Save it. I don't think we saved it. Better take another one just in case. Oh, thank you. Excellent. We got it. So there's a screenshot. I can now ignore that for now. Charlie, I shall be in touch. Hey. Drop me a DM on Twitter and I will. Yeah, I'll drop you an invite and you can use this. Anyone else? Anybody who gets an invite, I believe you get a few invites yourself. So you're able to use it. Feel free. Request access, join the early intro. It is awesome. But on to tonight's main event. We are going to be covering Fathom API. So I am building a CLI tool. So here is a link for that. Drop that in the chat down here. So this is the idea that I wanted. I wanted to be able to, be not leave my context at any point. I can be working away on anything, and I can just quickly open up a CLI and go Fathom sites, whatever site. Site visitors. Is anyone visiting my site? So I don't have to go to the website itself. I can just go, what's my page stats? What's my most popular blog post at the minute? Without having to go, oh, wait a minute, let me open up a browser. Let me go to use Fathom. Let's go check. Why not use a CLI? So that's what I'm doing. This is using Laravel 0, and it's using Pest PHP under the hood as well. Of course, it's always going to use Pest PHP these days. So I've done a little bit of work already. I can currently, because it's not been built, I've got a PHP Fathom it. I've got one command, which is setup, which is take the API token. There's my API token stored successfully. Then if I come over to Warp quickly, I go home. If I just, there we go. It is stored in the .fathom for that user, config.json. It's just chucking some data into JSON field there. Nice and simple. I can then get that later. I can, if I run that again, on stream, I can run that again. And as you can see, that changes. So without further ado, let's dive in. I'm going to focus on the code because you don't need to see me to understand what's going on. So if you haven't used Laravel 0 before, it is a really cool Laravel 0. A really cool CLI cut down version of Laravel. It's Laravel without the HTTP, basically. And it's really cool. You can do lots of cool stuff with it. So let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to want to do, I have in fact created a nice poor, that one? Not that one, that was some really old project. Come on, Paul. Okay, we'll quit you. We'll reopen you. We won't, don't be shy. There we go. Here it is. So we can list sites, get sites, create a site, update, wipe a site, list events. These are just some of the API endpoints that you can get. And obviously I'm going to be using my own website for this data because I don't have any test sites I can use. So we're going to go through this. First thing I'd love to do with this is I want to say, here's my commands. Here's where your commands are, by the way. I've got a base Fathom command. They aren't used anymore. I've got a base Fathom command, and that basically just gets the config repository injected into it, which is how we get the API token. I've taken a lot of. I kind of learned a lot from Nunu and what he built with the Forge CLI for some of this. I'm not going to lie. Took a lot of inspiration from that, and I also took some inspiration from how Marcel from Beyond Code built his Fathom CLI, because both were just some really good examples of how you can build a good CLI application. So I've learned a lot from there. So I'm not going to go test-driven development on this because I think people want to see that API more than they actually want to see. Let's do test-driven development. So we're going to focus on the API. We're not going to focus on pest PHP and writing tests. I've got a base set of test case already for setup command. I can say, okay, so we're expecting a question, we're asserting an exit code, that should be that and that should be that. All of this is working. I've got the basic, let's add our token, save that token. That's been tested. We'll focus on the API. So the first one, what we'll do, we're going to create a directory called sites. And within there, we're just going to have like a list command. This is our list command. And this is going to extend the Fathom command. That's all it needs. So what we need, like all of them, we need this. We're not going to worry about the threadable right now. And within here, this is where we start with the API. So if I run PHP Fathom, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to use Laravel Transporter for this. I could use a HTTP facade, but I love using Laravel Transporter. I built it. I may as well use it, right? So create a new directory called Transporter. It's already installed. So all I need to do now is within here, I'll create a Fathom, and we will create a new Fathom request. And this is going to extend Transporter request. Excellent. So that is how we're going to do the initial part. We're going to create this as an abstract one. Then we're going to simplify this. So what we'll do, we'll open these up side by side as we go through. So what do we need on every Fathom request? So we know we're going to have a base URL. We know we're going to have a path and a method. So the base URL is going to be preset on every single request. And this is how I like to use Laravel Transporter. So if I come over to the API docs quickly, I can grab this. And I believe, there you go, that's what I need. There we go, V1. Everything starts with a V1, and then I'm going to pop the slash in there because I'm going to want it. So we also know most of these are going to be GET requests, so we can kind of like preset some of this up and be like, okay, so we always want to do GET requests to here. Not going to do path, query and data we don't need any build stuff. Don't need fakes to do anything with fake or constructing. We don't need to do anything else down here right now. A lot of this is all just going to be yeah, that's it. That is our base request. The only thing that we need to do is public function authenticate. We're going to return ourselves. So what this is going to do is going to get the request, and say with token, and the token that we want to use going to come from config. Fathom token. It's not going to save in there, is it? So I should be able to. We should be able to resolve the config repository, which will then be config repository. So we can say get. Let's go back to that setup command. Let's see how we're setting that. So we are going to set the token. So we just need to get token basically. Should be it. So what we'll do quickly is grab this, come over to the sites and list. When we're handling it, do that for now. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this part? Let's grab that. Let's see if this is going to work. Let's just quickly down dump on the token. So Fathom. Have we got the command ready? Now we need to register commands, don't we? So commands, we've got the default paths, hidden commands. Do we just like add them to anything? This command, that's setup. Okay. Let's list. So Fathom sites list on stream yo. So yeah, we're getting it. We're getting it. We get what we need. So we don't need that right now. So within a Fathom request, we're getting that, and we can set the API token that we set in there with no problems. So what I am going to do is, that config isn't really needed, so I'm not going to worry right now. There is our basic request. Just remember to return this. Better with token. We also know that on every single one, we're going to want to set a few headers. And the headers that we're going to want to set are going to be things like the accept. So we'll go, we want the accept to be application JSON. And we'll do something like, I'm pretty sure you can just do with header. You just want to set one. Apparently not. Apparently it's going to be a with headers for now. And then we'll just do something like with user agent. And we're just going to set the user agent to be Fathom CLI 1.1. Something simple like that for now. Something nice and clean and simple. So that's it. That is our, the beginning of our how we're going to use transporter. So the next thing we want to look at doing within here is transporter. Let's create a new directory, and we're going to go sites, another class, and we're going to call this a list request. I'm going to extend the Fathom request so we can simplify that. The only thing that we actually need to do on this one, the public string, protected string, isn't it? So Fathom v1 sites. Perfect. Sites. We're getting the request there. On the Fathom request, we've got that slash there, so we know we don't need that. And that's it. That's literally all we need to do, add to this one. So for our list request or our list command, all we really need to do is go get the response, focusing on this one because I haven't shown many people how I use this yet. So list request, build, authenticate, and done. There we go, done. So at this point, we just do a quick dyn dump on what's JSON. So let's run this command again. I'll tell you what, we'll run it in here because we were talking about warp. We may as well use it, right? So cd GitHub me and Fathom, done. So PHP Fathom sites list. So Guzzle client not found. So we need to install Guzzle. You know, there we go. We don't want to do it dev because we actually need this. So let's get Guzzle installed. I knew I was forgetting something. So unauthenticated, that is fine. I kind of half expecting that. I've not set the API token correctly. So what I'm going to do quickly, is that how the terminal looks, or do you configure it to show your branch? So this is how it works. So it does show my branch there. I'm currently on the main branch. So, how am I going to, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to quickly just take this off screen and I just need to set my API key correctly. I'll take it off screen because I don't want to upset anyone right now. So we will Fathom setup off screen API token clear reset. And now I can bring that back. So PHP Fathom sites list. We're getting them back. So I don't know if I can zoom in at all. Can, perfect, even better. So here we go. But yeah, I've got 3 sites. I've got my site, Laravel Transport site, which I haven't really set up properly, and an API test site, which I was playing with earlier today using the poor API client. So I'm going to focus on this one. But what I want to do, I want to look at the output for this. So if I open up my composer.json, I've actually said that I want to use this Laravel console menu because it sounded pretty cool. Let's have a look at how I use this. Usage handle, this menu, sites menu open. You have just, let's grab that. Let's see what happens when we do that. chosen option number 1. Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. Isn't there anything else you can do with Laravel 0 that might be a little bit easier to use? Laravel 0, something like so commands. That's how you explain commands. Blah blah. Yeah, that's fine. Add-ons, database login, file system, run tasks, create a logo, interactive menus. We don't want any of these things. I kind of want like a table maybe, or a question of choose a site or display the sites and then ask. That's kind of what I want to be doing. I want to be like, these are your sites. So can I say this, I can do a table which takes headers as an array, and what we're getting back. Yeah, I'm wondering if it should be an interactive menu. Yeah, I've not used Laravel 0. Complete honesty, I've not used Laravel 0. What I need here, I need the name, whether it's sharing, and the ID. That's kind of like all I want. So 3 things: the ID, the name, and whether it's being shared or not. So start with the ID, name, and sharing. Oh no, we don't. This is just listing, right? I don't need to do much else. I don't need this option thing. My bad. So rows is going to be what's our response coming back? So data. So response data JSON. So then it'll ask. I want to collect data, and I want to map over one as a site, because it is a site, I suppose. And then I want to return basically site ID. That's probably going to be an array at this point, so I might have to site ID it. Site name and the site sharing. Something like that. Let's see how that goes. Bang, done. So let's get these options and let's just delete those options. Let's delete that part as well. That's it. I can list sites like this. Oh, okay. Ooh. None returned. Return command yes. Again, bang, they're my sites. So I've got 3 sites. So now I can get, okay, let's grab that and copy it. And then from there, I want to go sites. Well, I'd want to be able to create one, I suppose, right? So let's get a site next. We'll do like a site fetch. We'll create a new class. With a fetch command. This is going to extend the Fathom command itself. There's that. I'm going to do, my music might be a little bit loud. There we go. Got some really cool like D&D style Nordic sound on in the background because it's really good to code to. So the public, and have that. So this is where we're going to want to fetch the site. Sites, fetch, and we want like ID. I'm pretty sure this is where you need to do like a something really specific. So let's go to writing commands. You can do like details. Yeah, it has got actually parts of the Vikings in there, Amy. It is amazing. It's really good to listen to. Options. So I've got arguments, options. You can do like explanations. Here we go. There, that's what I need. I need something like that. So ID, the Fathom site ID. This one will be fetch a single site from the Fathom API. Obviously, this one is going to be, don't need that. List all sites on. So now I can do something like, make sure I get that. Like a fetch. We could do a help before that, I believe. Cool, ID, the Fathom site ID. So I can do fetch, bang. Nothing's being returned now. That's good. That's fine. We can live with that. We know we're going to be building that command, that part next. So here's my fetch command. List command, done. I can list my sites. Fathom request, don't need. List request, don't need. We're going to want to have like a fetch request or something in here, aren't we? Right, again, it's going to extend Fathom request. Much like before, keep it nice and simple. So all we need to add in here. Stop talking to me about music when I'm streaming, wife. Protected string path is that. So this part doesn't matter so much because it's when we're doing this request, we know we've got to do something specific. So you know, we could even just kind of completely omit doing anything there. So within here, what we can do is just do a quick dive dump on this arguments. ID, cool. Okay, so what's going on there? Is it going to have a space in it? Okay, so it needs a space in it. That's fine. So I can get the arguments. That's good. So now I can say that the response is the request build. You know, we need to authenticate. We want to set the path, and that path is going to be sites. Okay, so we could do something like this argument ID send. Yeah, I forgot a space. It happens. And then again, much like on the list command, I should really just create like a shortcut to add this part. Pop that in there. And if we have been successful, we can just do a new table, right? First, we will go response, get the data back. Apparently nothing. So let's just go for JSON. bang. So again, ID, name, sharing when it was created, done. So again, we could just do a table, much like we did with here. But a lot of these are going to follow the same pattern because it is a CLI app at the end of the day. CLI apps generally look the same. You say when it was created or something like that. Just all this back over here, and there we go. So let's just JSON map return, and then we can do something like a carbon pass. Okay, so I probably don't need that. So I can just go for now. I'm just going to return response JSON and just see how that looks. And delete that. Yeah, so with PHP, oops. So yeah, the PHP Storm is I am using Brent Ruse. So let's grab that. I think it is Photon. This is a theme that I use. I'll drop it in here. It's really nice. It's really nice light color scheme, and it makes a lot of sense when you're looking at it. It works really nice. So that's the theme that I'm using. So this is having an issue. This is JSON. While it is an array, the rows need to do something else. So maybe I need to do something here. What could I do? Like rows is an array. We could set the rows ID to be response JSON ID, and let's just stick rows out here, see what happens. Okay, wait a minute. Might be why. Here you go. But what I need to do is kind of map over each one at this point and return an array. Oh, how should I do this? Arrays plural, it needs that. So then we're getting into here. So we could just do something like this. We could say ID is response JSON ID. For now, I'll just stick with this and I'll look at polishing it later. Let's just focus on the API. Sharing or not, and then created, we can just do like a carbon pass response JSON. Created that, and we'll just like do a for human. Months ago. Perfect. So I've only been on Fathom for 2 months. I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do with my site. And I just stuck it on Google Analytics. I was like, I'm not using it. I'm not blogging. But then I was like, but I don't have like any cookie policies. I don't have any GDPR banners or anything. I was like, okay, maybe I need to change something about this. So I did, and I used Fathom. Simple. I don't need any cookie warnings anymore. So there's, that might be a little bit messy, but it does the trick. And that's all I'm after for this very second. What are the parts of the API? Create a site. Do we want to be able to create a site? Probably. We probably want to be able to create a site. And the thing that we want to be passing over in that body is the name and is sharing. So let's do more of a kind of a buildable one here. So create like a create command, which again extends the Fathom command. Simplify this. Grab this. Yeah, it was what analytics is one of those things you either care about or you don't care about. And as someone who didn't really do much when it comes to my site, I didn't see the point in it. But looking at the the privacy laws and GDPR stuff, it made sense to just pay a small fee. I mean, Fathom's cheap. I think my lunch would cost me more these days. So create a new site on Fathom. So the idea of this CLI is, let's say you're an agency dev or a freelance developer, and you've got a client and they want, maybe you're looking after their analytics as well, and you've got a Fathom account. You can deploy the website using the Forge CLI, very quickly come to your command line and go, okay, Fathom, create a new site, get my site ID back. I can add that into my code base, and bang, automatic tracking, push it up, away you go. That's all you have to do. Something clean and simple. Yes. The people at Fathom have said one thing, and I've always agreed with it. If you aren't paying for the service, you are the service. Or if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. And that means your data when it comes to like Google Analytics and stuff. So you got to do what you do. Got to do what you got to do. Right, so I don't need that. So I want to be like, I want to say ID, optional arrays, input arrays. No, I'm gonna go into like some building process here. So this is where, much like the setup command, we're going to ask a question, and we're going to get that response back. So to start with, we'll be like, what is the name of this site? So we get the name, and then I think, can you give like options or something? Yes, options. No, we don't want options. Add option. No. I need like a multi-choice. That's what I need. I do need that table thing from Nuno. Here we go. This is what I need, this menu. So when it comes to sharing, we need to build this in like this. So we need something like, if I look at the docs for the sharing and creating stuff, they're creating a site. It's got to be non-private or public. So that's what we're limiting to here. So non is going to be no sharing right now. Private is going to be enable private sharing. And then public, set this site to be public. So then we've got like this optional share password. So what we're going to do is we're going to text this and ask another question if we need to, basically. So we get the name, and then we're going to say, cool, bang, give an option. We're going to go share. And what we'll do is we'll say something like, what share things do you want to use? And then we've got an array here. So what we could probably do is just do like a array values on the sharing at the top. And then what we'll do next is just kind of like dump on share. So not really that, we're going to create, right? So create, bang. What's the name of this site? Test, cool. No sharing, enable, bang. So then what we want to do with sharing, and we got number 1. So we could do like something like sharing with the index that was selected. So sharing, share. Trying to find array key 1. Okay. Yeah, good idea. Allow this site to be privately shared. Requires a shared password. If I can't get that one, I can't get it by index. They're going to give us, hey, okay, so we want to do, let's just do like an array keys, and we want sharing. Yeah, nope. What's it taking us? What is it giving us? Let's do that for now. Hey, then we can do it. So we can turn that into something like that. Method of sharing is going to be array keys, and we can then share in there and dump on method and just make sure that this is correct. Create, test, private, test, none, test, public. And what happens if we just like exit? It dies. Undefined array key. I don't know how he's catching the exit on that. Set up with a question. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Some of the things that we do. Hey, hey, thanks for coming. Set prompt text, item callable. No, I kind of don't want to go through that kind of old school flow there. I want to, go through and ask. So if they exit, do we need an exit? We don't want an exit. Don't want an exit. So there's that. And what we'll do something like if the array key exists, and I'm assuming this is haystack needle or key. So share and sharing If it doesn't exist, then we're going to return command failure or invalid, basically. We're just going to say this warn. Actually, no, we're just going to ignore it. No. No, we're not. No, we're not. Don't be silly, Steve. So I'm assuming, yep, string. So within here, we need string, and we need to say you need to select a privacy option for the site name. Okay, let's try that again. Testing. Bang. You need to select a privacy option for the site testing. Excellent. That is what we like. Wrap it in that instead, because then it stands out a bit more. That's what we want. So there's a method. That's giving us methods of sharing. Make sure we are on the right track. Okay. Let's have a look. So what data have we collected so far? We've got share. Move that down. Got 0, and then we got that. So if array key exists in the share and methods. That's what we want to be doing, isn't it? So create test, bang. At that point, we're getting the methods and we're not returning. Perfect. We got there. We got there. Right. Onwards and upwards. Then what we'll do is something like if the index for that share equals sharing so that's going to give us a okay. That's 1 basically, because we know that's first item, well, key item 1. We at this point we can say password equals this ask, and the question is going to be please set a password for this site. And then we're going to be hitting the API. So what we'll also do is password is null at the top. I'll probably go through and clean this up afterwards because it feels very kind of lengthy so far. At this point, now we need to go through and say, okay, so the response, now we've got all that data, we can build up our response, which means we can start interacting with this API. And we want to create a create request. And this is going to extend the Fathom request, simplify that. And we're going to set the public string method to be post. We're doing a post request this time. And the public string path is sites. Literally is doing a quick post request to sites. We don't need that last slash, so we can just drop that. So in here, we can do a create command, bang, create command, create request, create request, build, authenticate with data, and the data we want to send is an array where name is name and the sharing is good point. How am I going to get this part? How can I get this part nicely? How could I do it? It's a shame I can't like just pass that and it overrides the values. So bind them on that share. It'd be nice if I could do that because it would save a lot of messing around. Okay, so I can. Never mind. I don't have to do all of this juggling after all. So drop that. So if share, so here we can just do a nice, very simple if share equals, or if share doesn't exist, basically. And sharing, then password, if share equals private, and set a password, we'll get the response, and then the sharing mechanism is share. Password is password, because it's either going to be null or it's going to be nothing. It's null of a password that we've set. We can then send that request, and then we can do our very usual throw exception if something went wrong. If it didn't go wrong, we can just do a this info the string is like name has been created. That's it. Basically, don't care about that. What else do we want to do? So menu, what option does that have? So testing on stream, and we want this to be no sharing right now. And then if I list testing on stream, I have now got one created. Excellent. That is actually quite nice, quite easy to do. So let's close all these tabs quickly. Let's round this back up. So the next step is we want to look at updating that site, because there's times when you need to update sites, right? So we'll go for an update command, and again, this is going to extend the Fathom command. So we will simplify that. And command-wise, we just need to grab that again. No, we want something very similar to this, basically. Update. There we go. Sites. Update. And then we want to update a specific site on Fathom. Let's fetch Fathom by side. That part's not needed. At the end, we're just going to return a command success. So what we're going to get, what do we want? We need the ID. So from that ID, what can we do? Where are we? Update a site. And we can update the name and the sharing stuff. Name, sharing, and share password. So it's going to be very, very similar to like how we create. So we're going to say what do we want to pass in like optional arguments here, right? So there's an ID. We're also going to want to start passing in arguments. So let's have a look at this. How do we want to do this? We want to do something like dash name is options. Want to queue it? No. Optional. We want optional arguments. Optional arguments. So we're going to want something like name. Update the name of this site. Sharing. Update the sharing settings of this site. And then we're going to have something like password, again optional. Update the sharing password for of this site. We may as well make it consistent, right? Don't want site lists. 8.123 or help and see what it gives us. Bang, ID, name, share, password. So as arguments, we do as an option. Maybe we want them to be options, not arguments, right? There is Q equals options with values. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. We want this to be we have like optional things. Options. So can we go name is test. Sharing is none and password is test. Cool. That's what I'm thinking there. Something I think relatively simple to do. This stage, if okay, let's just do a dine dump on name. I do that. Okay, so that's adding that default value there. Well, perfect. What we want to do basically at this stage is if is null, this option name, and is null, this option sharing, and basically if we haven't passed any arguments in, and at this stage we're going to say this warning where the string is going to be you must pass at least name, sharing, or password option to update a site. Some sort of built-in validation there. Then we can just return the command failure. Or actually, that's probably invalid again because that's kind of almost. Here we go. Command invalid. Got to pass in one of these options. Then if we do have any of these options, yeah, you can do, but I also want it to have a value. So I don't know how you can do like. You can do that. That's cool. I don't know how you can do optional arguments with a default value. Actually, no, we don't want a default value, do we? So we should just be able to say name. Name argument does exist. No, that's not working. That is working. Well, I think I'm on the right track here. So basically, if none of those are set, then do that. And if we do have something, then we want to find send a request, basically. And this will be the update request. We're starting to fly through it a little bit quicker now, aren't we? Update request, which extends a Fathom request. And we will quickly simplify that one. And all we need to do on this is set a method again to be, they use post for this. And there's a reason why they use post. I won't go into like the finer details of why they use post for some of this. But I spoke to Jack and they think of opening this up for patch as well. They want it to be a bit more flexible, basically. So the response is going to be an update request where we're going to build, then we're going to authenticate, then we're going to set the path to be sites dot this argument ID. That's all I need from the path sites ID. And I want to set the data, with data, where the data is okay, we need to build up the data array here. So data is an array. And what we'll do is if it's not null, if the name isn't null, then we're going to build it up. And we're going to add that option. So data name. And then again for these other two options, which is sharing and sharing password, basically. Okay, password, and then we're just going to pass data across there. And then we can quite simply send the request. Then at that point, all we got to do is catch any exceptions. And then say, cool, all good. This info. What's Photon PHP? That is where was that? I did post a link, didn't I? Photon. Do you mean this one? The Photon theme? That is basically the PHP Storm theme that I'm using. Auto authenticate with a class itself rather than manual. There might be a way I can do it. I've not looked at doing it yet. I know I can do things like with requests, so I can predefine things on that request. I like to manually authenticate though, because sometimes there might be API endpoints where you aren't authenticating. So it's nice to kind of have that option. I'll just do something like updated site. Right, cool. So fail. It's still in demo mode. So sites list. Let's get this one. Let's update this site. We're going to set the name to be. Name must be a string. So we need to do something there. Something like test API updated site. Test API update site. Cool, got it. So there's the update command. Let's fetch. What other commands do we need? So wiping site data. This is one to be used with caution. So this is probably one that I will would do something like a wipe command here, because the only thing that you can wipe is your data. You can delete the site, but this is wiping the data. So the Fathom command. Simplify this one quickly, and what we want is basically not that. Something similar to the fetch at this stage. So sites wipe. What we're going to do here is wipe the data from the passed through site. This action cannot be undone. So we're going to get that, and then at the end we're just going to return command success for now. So only thing we need to do here is send a request. I think we should possibly maybe do some sort of confirmation at this point and be like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to be deleting this? So what we're probably going to want to do is there's got to be a way to do like a yes or a no. This confirm. Okay, so if this confirm, what we want to confirm is, are you sure? This cannot be undone. And then we're going to set, is it got like a default? Default is false anyway. Then we send it. And what we'll do is this info string wiping site data for wiping site data. And then response is going to be wipe request. Which again is going to extend the Fathom request. Nice and simple. And this is a delete. We can set the protected method to be delete. We'll set everything else separately. So wipe request. I'm going to build the request. Then we're going to authenticate the request. Then we're going to set the path to be sites. This argument ID followed by data, and then it's a send. That's literally all we should need to do. We need to authenticate and set the path, and then we just want to send that request and say, wish you hadn't done that, but yeah, we deleted it. So yeah, we gave you a chance. So this info string data successfully wiped for site. So this we can do a wipe ID. Is it deliberate you didn't suffix a wipe data class with command? Did I not? I didn't. No, that was not deliberate. That was a boo-boo. Thank you for spotting that. I did wonder where that wipe data was coming from. So wipe data, are you sure? No. Again, we'll return command success at the end there. And this info string is few. That was close. No action taken. Like that. Boom. Oh, actually, no. There we go. So, yes, I'm sure. Send it. Wiping site data. Data successfully wiped for site. Done. Done, done, done. Excellent. Just what we like. That was easy, wasn't it? So this is where we can start looking at things like events. And events are, this is where things are going to get crazy complicated, I think. So what we need next is events. We need a directory within here for like listing events. This is going to have its own list command, which is going to extend the Fathom command. So what I'll do, I'll go to the API docs quickly. So I'm not going to do the delete site right now. I'll probably come back and fill that in. But it's very similar to the wipe, but you just don't add the data on the end, and you'd want to add a confirm. So events, listing events. So return a list of events this site owns. Events are sorted by created at ascending to allow you to do pagination with ease. I'm not going to worry about pagination right now. It's something that I'll look at. I'm looking for a nice way to do pagination. Ideally, I want to be able to just, automatically paginate anything coming through, but I've not found a nice way to do that. And as soon as I do, I'll be adding it to transporter by default with a config value to say whether you want to paginate or not. So optional, the page you wish to load. No, not interested. The site ID, that's what I need right now, the site. So This is the list, so very similar to this. So what we need is events list. List all events for a site on Fathom. And then very similar, we're going to have this. It's been quite easy now, isn't it? I don't want to jinx it, but you know, we're flowing quite nicely. I'm quite impressed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick pause, and I am going to come to Workbench. What I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to add a work in progress commit. Whip. Add all of that quickly. So I'm not going to download a new version because I don't need it right now. I just quickly make sure that I am on PSR 12. I don't know if anybody here has used it. Here I am. Just no, you know, nothing to do. Just from this. If you haven't used Workbench, this is, you know, probably the best money I spend per month. I can very quickly and very easily reformat my code. Nothing needed. Nothing wrong with my code there. So I could come down, removing dependencies, unguarded models, anonymous migrations, doc blocks, class-based factories, anything not Laravel specific, validations, syntax. They're all Laravel. I want PHP. Where's my PHP tasks? Come on. No, you don't need that. Adopt early returns. Let's run that. Let's see what it does. Let's see what this does. I've not ran this one yet. I think this is only like, I can't remember how much I paid. It's not a lot. That's all I know. It's not a lot of money. Yeah, still hadn't. My code is apparently good quality. Damn it! Not what I was expecting. Okay, run this one. Remove any unnecessary doc blocks. And that's things like if you've got return types and stuff like that. Oh, what could I use? I don't know. I'll add a fake. I'll add a fake one just for the sake of it in like here. And we do that. Here we go. Don't need to do check and git commit on this one. So this one, in theory, it should, because we're using return types, it should just remove the dog block. If it doesn't, there's probably some configuration I've not done. Yeah, the moment, yeah, damn, no issues. I'm paying this money and it's not doing anything. There you go. You saw it disappear. Wasn't me. That was unrequired doc block, basically. And it's pretty cool. You know, adopt type hints. Cool. Yeah, run. Just automatically run. Add type hints for me because I can't be bothered to add them myself. Remove my doc blocks. Yeah, it's all it requires is Docker. That is all it requires. So modified the list command now. So the event list command. What did I just run though? Adopting type hints. Don't really know what it changed there, to be honest. Handling void. Okay, it's not returning anything on it, but that is Workbench, and it is awesome. Definitely check it out. Where are they? Laravel Shift Workbench. So it is super easy. There's free and premium tasks. So there's free tasks you can use. You can download it and just start using it. And then there's premium tasks as well. Things like removing dead code, adopting early returns, formatting test cases. Look, okay, I'm on the homepage now. Damn, it caught me again. So there's over 40 tasks, and I can't remember what the pricing was. Services, resources. There's an API. Pricing. Sign in. God, Taylor looks cool. I gotta get some sunglasses like that, but I would not look quite as cool. That's not the one. I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember how much it costs. It's like I'm tempted to say it's like 10 quid, but I'm not 100% sure. Do not quote me on that one. I'm actually not too sure. Okay, so what we also need is the ID, the site ID. So yeah, we kind of need similar to this, the Fathom site ID. So let's just grab that. We want the Fathom site ID. That's all we need. So down here, what we need to do is turn command success for now, and then that will be an int. So all we're doing here is listing. So all we need to do is we send the request straight away. So we will come down to Fathom sites in transporter. We'll just create another directory, events. We'll just do like a list request again. Name these as you need to. I like to be pretty specific about the action and just use namespacing to denote where things should be. This in theory needs absolutely nothing on it. So I can do a list request, and we're listing the events that I need to build, authenticate, set the path, the sites, this argument ID, followed by events. And that's it. That's literally all I need to do. That's my API request ready to go. $49. Is that? No, that's a shift price. I promise you, it does not cost me $49 a month. I'm pretty sure I'd notice if it was $49 a month. Or at least I think I would. Let me check my bank. Sorry, I've got the world's longest bank password. Store stuff. GitHub. Paddle from Beyond Code. Lots of takeaways. God, I'm bad at this. Beyond Code. Cotton Bureau. I don't even know how much I'm paying. Laval Shift. Okay, I'm paying £28.36 a month. I'm paying like under 30 quid a month, basically, just to run this when I want to. And it's worth it. Yeah, I work on a lot of code. It's nice to be able to have all of this. Yeah, I'm awful with takeaways. I'm terrible with takeaways, and my wife will agree. I blame her. It's definitely mostly her fault. I hope she's not listening at this exact moment, because I'll get told off when I'm done. Yeah, Workbench locally is unlimited projects, unlimited, as many as you want to do. There's no limit. On Laravel Shift, it's per, you pay per shift, as it were. Whereas with the Workbench, it's a SaaS model. It's download it, run it as many times as you want, because it's all local. Okay, so there's that exception there. So we get the response back. So at this point, let's just do a quick die and dump on the response, and then we're just going to collect the data, because I know we're probably going to get a data key back. So we don't want to do that. We want to event list for this site. Right, event list, nothing. So why don't we come back to here and get like this site. This is my site. I know that ID. That's a site I recognize. There we go. Bang. These are the events I track on my website. So if someone follows the packages link, someone reads an article, clicks on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, just so I know, it's if they click my Fathom affiliate link. If the code course uses a link or checked out a YouTube stream internal link, just so I can know, what are people enjoying on my website and what do I need to focus on? So the API key for the CLI, is that per project via EMV? Yeah, so yeah, you are always there, wife. I know. I'm never safe. You heard it. If you don't hear from me again, this is why. She got to me. So what we've got here is we've got some events, read an article, follow packages link. So I know if people are finding my packages through my website, I know I need to focus on the design and making sure they're always pulled in. So on my website, when I build it, what it will do, it will pull down all of my packages links, all of my packages from Packagist, and it'll build a page around them. It's super simple. It is there's packages. They are here. I don't even think I paginate them. Don't know why that's coming through. Packages. I don't know what's going on there. Something's gone wrong. So here's my very first one. It was last updated back in 2017. It's always showing the last updated. And the last update for this one was July. I've not done any packages recently. And then obviously there's YouTube. I like to put all of these on here as well, just so people can find them. Also, this is all part of my RSS feed. So if I open up Feedly, what you'll get, I'm starting to get streams coming through. Let's see. Am I on here? These are some of the blogs that I follow. 18 more sources. Oh yeah. Wait. I did see me. Here's me. See all articles. Some adverts. I do get some stuff coming through for videos, so that's why I do it, basically. Long, very long story short. Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to kind of say the ID and we want to say name. We'll say, okay, so, here's your events, run through, here's a table. Very extremely similar to the list command here. So what we're going to do is basically this. And what I'm probably going to do at some point is extract this out to a command, to a method on the Fathom command where I pass it to arrays or something. I pass it something and do something. That's all I want to know. Collect data, and we're going to refactor this to be rename event. So event ID and event name, which means I can drop the sharing malarkey. And bang, done. So there we go. I want to see when people are clicking on my Discord, on my Telegram, on GitHub, LinkedIn, Twitter, read one of my articles. Because I can track things like page views through Fathom and stuff. But I've added on every single article link whether people are reading the articles, so I can say, okay, so a lot of people are reading articles as a general rule, or they're going over to this part of my site or the other part of my site, and it's really useful. Really useful way to do things. There's all of those. That's me getting that. Listing events. Getting event. I'm not going to get an event because I don't think it's going to add any value. Create an event. I'm not going to worry about right now. Or update. I'm going to jump straight. I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I'm going to jump straight to aggregations because that is one that's going to be a bit harder to explain and a bit harder to build. So for now, that part's done. That's beautiful. Do you see that? I can scroll. I can grab this. I can say, okay, so bang, run it again. Love that. I can just keep scrolling. Okay, let's share that block. How nice is that? Being able to do that, being able to say, okay, so share, generate a link, bang, copy link. If you have a look at this link in your browser, I don't know what it will do. Let's go have a look in the browser. Because I'm intrigued. What is this going to do? Now that's cool. As a browser, how cool is that? As a command, I can copy a link or copy snippet. I've copied the snippet. I can come back to my command line and I can say, okay, so this person ran that. Okay, I can copy it as text. Yeah, how amazing is that? That is crazy. Yeah, this is the truth. When we lived in Cardiff, we were awful for takeaways. Uber, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Deliveroo. The one mistake we made once was getting pie, mashed potato, and gravy delivered on. Where was it? It was pie mince for something. We got that delivered, and it came on a bike, and it was cold, and the gravy had spilled, and the pie was like solid. It was just not a good experience. Not a good experience at all. Okay, so we're going to come back, close all of these off because that's all we need right now. Aggregations. Let's focus on aggregations because I got carried away with how cool warp is. We're going to close down some of these. Don't need some of these. Reports, aggregations. I haven't looked at current visitors. To be honest, I'm not sure if this works. We'll have a look. Let's have a look. Pymonster. Let's try. Okay, current visitors. We're going to quickly test this command and see if it works. So setup command sites. We're going to create a new one within here. And we're just going to call this current visitor command. Current visitor command. And that is going to extend the Fathom command. Do that. Grab this. Nope. Go to the fetch command because we need that ID. I'm just going to grab that. And we're just going to do it this way. Return command success. So sites, current visitors, ID, fetch the current visitors on a site. So let's have a look. Yeah, we're up in like the Welsh valleys now, so we're well out the way. Really, really out the way. So we're going to create a current visitor request. This is going to extend the Fathom request. And all we want on this one is the public. No, we literally need nothing on this. This is what I love about what I've done with Transporter is doing it this way. I need to pass in like a site ID and stuff. So if sorry, my windows have all gone a little bit wonky there. So there we go. Sites that, then that. I need to pass a lot of this in. So, I don't actually need to configure anything on this because it's all pre-configured. It's all pretty much set up for me. So I can say response equals current visitor request build. Okay, so we build that, then we're going to authenticate, then we're going to set the path, and the path again is going to be sites, this argument ID, and then current underscore visitors. And then we can just send that request, and Fathom request, request. Over here, this is what I need. I need this bit. Getting lost. Don't need that. Don't need that. Let's just close all that down. So if this response fails, it does that. So now let's just response JSON, dump that out. So sites wipe, sites list. I want current visitors for this site. Current visitors for that. Boy forward. Okay, so what did I do? Where is it going? We are sending pending request. Tell you what I'm going to do is that is the path we're sending it to. API v1 sites, site ID, current visitors. So current visitors sites. Ignore the v1 because that is needed. Perhaps this isn't quite working yet, and that's fine. That's fine. We'll go to aggregations instead. I wanted to check if it was working, basically. So for now, what we would do is comment out, just say this info thing, endpoint not yet active. So if somebody tries to run it, that endpoint not yet active, done. That's all we need. So I can actually just delete that for now. Hard to do. Okay, so what we want is aggregates. The aggregation command, and that's going to extend the Fathom command. And what we need here is aggregations. We want to pass through an entity, an entity ID. This is where it's going to get confusing for people. So aggregations, they are super duper complicated bits of kit. It is aggregating your data. It's generating a report, basically. And I'm probably going to have some predefined ones. So you can do things like, here we go. This aggregation is we want to get all page views. And you pass through the entity ID, which would be like the site, for example, and it would give you, okay, so here's the page views broken down for Chrome on desktop, Chrome on mobile, Chrome on tablet. It'll just break everything down. And I have an example of this. Can we zoom in on this? No. Okay, so you can't zoom in on this, but here's the URL parameters. We're doing page view for that site. We're getting the visits. We're aggregating the visits. We're going to group by browser, and we want within the last month. So if I send that request, bang, it's giving me, can you give me that? Yeah, okay. So I've had, in the last month, 165 visits on Safari, 3 from Opera. That must be my nan. 437 on Chrome, 85 on Firefox, 1 on Browser Zero. Don't know what that is. 22 on Edge and 3 on Mozilla, which is pretty cool. And what I can do, I can just, I can drop that and say, okay, give me everything for all time. How popular has my site ever been? And as you can see, not very popular. I've had some views, but I've never pushed my site. But it gives us information like this. So what I'm probably thinking here with the aggregations is maybe instead of doing aggregation command like this, maybe I need to generate some specific reports on a site level basis. So we can say new directory in sites reports. And what we'll do is we can have things like page views or page view. So the page view report. So we can do a new page view report command. And then this is going to extend the Fathom command. And what we need to do here is simplify that one. Let's just go for this fetch because we're getting the ID in there again. Let's make it easy for ourselves. Put that in there. So sites, reports, or reports, page views, ID. So, and then this is going to be fetch the page view report for a site. And this is where we can add other options. So we're going to say, okay, so the aggregate, we're going to visits, uniques, page views. So page views there, bounce rate. Sum of aggregate, and you want to sum it against something. So this is where we're going to want to say, got that. This is where we need that option, and we want the sum to be something. Aggregate against visits, uniques, page views, average durations, average duration, and bounce rate. There we go. That's kind of what we want there. And so for now, we're just going to return command success. And we can go PHP Fathom, report page views. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Oops. That one. Current visitors. Let's grab that one. And PHP Fathom reports page views. Bang. So we can pass that through. And what we'll do, we'll pop in help as well. So help, bang. So I'm aggregate against visits, uniques, page views, average duration, and bounce rate. So here's how we're going to control part of it. So here's how we're going to control that. We need that entity ID, which is going to be the ID we're passing through. And that entity is always going to be page view for this one. So that means we can start building up our response here, and we can do, okay, let's build up the request. So we'll create another directory in here again called reports, because this is where integration isn't exactly like an SDK. We're building up a way that we want to integrate. And for this, we're going to do a page view. What did we call this? A page view request. This is a part of that report. So there's that Fathom request. That. So what we can actually do at this stage, we can create a new one in here, create another one, and create an aggregation request. This is going to extend the Fathom request, and we can create that as a new abstract, and we can set the public protected string path as aggregations, and it is still a GET request, so it's fine. That's it. That's all we need to do. So this aggregation request, we can come to page view request and just swap that out. And in here, we don't need to do anything anymore. Any reports are going to extend the aggregation request, and it makes our lives so much easier. So now we can do a page view request. We're going to build it. Going to authenticate against it. Then we're going to do I want the query parameters. So with query, what we want to, let's go to the Laravel docs. HTTP client, digging deeper, request data, posting with data, getting stuff back, making requests, query parameters, pass that through there, as form, post with body, multi-part form, headers, bearer tokens, timeout retries, throwing exceptions, guzzle, concurrent requests. Okay, so it's not giving me what I want to see. So let's just kind of click through to here. So we can, with query, not what I want, not with request, get request, set path, call, no. So what we actually need that underlying pending request at this stage. And what we want to do, we want to start accessing some stuff on here. So let's look at params. Okay, so let's look at query. So get, we can pass that query through. Query, head, query, post, this body format, path request data. Okay, so we're going to have to do something magic here ourselves, aren't we? We want to, with query, and this query is going to be this array here. I was wondering if we could do something like adding single ones at a time. It's not going to, it's going to be available as a package, but not in that way. I might extract some of the API request stuff into a package and pull that into the CLI at some point so that I can kind of manage it centrally. I'm not building an SDK for Fathom right now. It might be something I look at doing further down the line, but I will kind of want to let other people have a go as well. So with the query, what we want to do is the query parameters we need to pass through are, first one is the entity. For this, we've got a predefined entity. We are doing page views. You can, at the minute, you can do page views and events. That's it. I mean, there's nothing saying you couldn't pull this in and just use the commands to pull into Artisan. I don't know if it would work, but it's kind of a heavy-handed way to use it. But it's all open source, so feel free to go on, download it, and just rip out the requests you want and use them. I've got no complaints about people doing that. It's open source for a reason, right? The entity ID is going to be the ID we're passing through. So this is where we can say that this argument ID. And then the aggregates. Spell that correctly as an argument within here. Some aggregate you wish to include separated by a comma. So you can actually do more than one. Okay. So before I do anything, I want to do a die and dump on this option sum. Yeah, I'm probably going to extract it to a central repo. Bang. Okay, unexpected token down there. That's fine. I will add that with that for now. So currently got none. So I can sum things I want to be able to sum. Visits. I've got visits. Yeah, if I add another one, is it going to tell me off? It's going to override it. So visits, page views. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a way with Laravel you can console command, console, input arrays, options arrays equals star. Oh, okay. I can do a sum star, which means bang. Oh, yes, that's what we wanted. That is what we wanted. Nice. Let's grab that. There's a little celebration in my office. I'm glad nobody saw me. I am way too old to be doing that. So aggregate all of that stuff, which is great. That's fun. That's awesome. Optional date grouping. I'm going to leave date grouping for now. I'm just going to like mirror what I've done here. So we're aggregating that field grouping. So the field grouping part, this is where you can do like host name, path name, referrer host name, referrer path name, browser, country, device type, UTM campaign, UTM content. The fields you want to group by, you can literally say, yeah, all of them, please. But how do I want to do this? So the field grouping is it's probably going to be another implode on an array. This option grouping. Yeah, that'll do. Something like that for now. Oh, thanks, Jazza. I love what I do. This is just the stuff I enjoy. It's nice to do this stuff. Really, I just really enjoy it. I've loved the streaming experience. To be honest, I was always never too sure if I was going to do it, but I'm really glad I did. So grouping. What other? So we got date groupings. I'll probably add something like a date group argument for that, and we'll have like the general field grouping under grouping. So what I'm just going to quickly do is I'm going to stick this to the left half. Just do this quickly so I can right half. Close this down, scroll across. There's our filters, date from, blah, 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 blah. Groupings. Here we go, grouping. And group field by. So we're going to have a good old list in here. Host name, path name, which is like the link. For host name, you've got to provide these options, but personally, I've probably only grouped by a few things personally, but when you're building a CLI, you need to offer kind of support for everything, don't you? Country. And as I said, I think this is optional anyway. So, you either get it or you don't want it. You do, you're going to probably build up something. You're probably going to have like an alias for this. That's what I would do. It's how I ran my Twitter raffle earlier today. I've got an alias. UTM source, UTM term, keyword, put a Q, don't know what that is. We've got a ref and an S. That's literally, that's going to be messy to look at, but let's go to here and let's come over here and just click there and click help. There we go. So bang, multiple values are allowed. It looks ugly, and until I find a nice way to display that, I will kind of keep that. Yeah, I think having full windows is nicer, especially when you're looking at code, because you need that. You need this view when you're watching on YouTube, because you need it to look nice, right? You need it to look nice. Otherwise, what's the point? Right. So that is. Let's just refresh that page. So host name, that's filters, sorry. That's a field grouping. Sort by time zone is optional. So we could have like this optional time zone up here. Scroll all the way over here. And then have like time zone optionally add the date time output in your local time, e.g. Europe, London. You'd pass through something like that, basically, Europe/London. What else is there? The date from, the date to. I'm not going to add those because I've done 2 hours now and I want to make sure you can see this. So the filters, this is a complicated part. There's no way to document or explain this nicely. Basically, the filters is a request parameter, which is a JSON payload. And it's allowing you to basically filter things out and say, I only want to see, where the country is the UK, or the country is not the UK, or where it's not this page, or it is this page, where the referrer is this, or it isn't that. So you can, you filter that stuff out really quickly. Not something I'd want on a CLI, because writing that command alone is going to be inefficient. I may as well go ahead and check on the website and generate a specific view that I want to see. So not something I would do on this. However, if I was doing an SDK or in-depth integration on an API level instead of a CLI level, then yeah, I'd add all of these options in there and I'd allow you to create these filters nicely. And it might be something I do on my next stream, actually. That could be quite fun. Really in-depth SDK. Yeah, it's a good way to do it, considering the power it gives you. But the problems you get with it on a CLI would just be ridiculous. It's not worth doing on a CLI. So that's it. You could do dates. So I suppose I may as well add them because it's not really gonna hurt to add them. I could do a date from is set the date range from and date to. I could just shorten that to from and to, right? There's no other date requirements. Set the date range to. So now if I come to here, again, these are all the options I get. So the ID is an argument. If it's got a dash, it's an option. It's optional. So I could do all of this and this is another thing about warp, by the way. You can double click and delete. Bang, I can run it. So it works as it's a terminal, but it's got availability as a text editor. So I could, okay, that side, that line, and that line. This last line, I want to say, echo hello. Then let's just delete those. Then on the end of these, I'm going to say echo boom. Yeah, I'm about to do aggregates. So I was just showing this really cool thing you could do in Warp. Where were we? Oh, again, Fathom Analytics. They've got a really cool podcast. Check it out. It is fantastic. They talk about some really cool stuff. Pricing models for SaaS, firing and hiring, version 3. I usually use Google Podcasts and not Spotify, so I don't see a lot of listened on here. And again, obviously, PHP Ugly. Shout out to those at PHP Ugly. Effing Steve is always listening. So what we want to do at this stage is for the aggregate, the aggregation request over there, we don't need Fathom request, pending request, fetch command. So the page view request. So what we're doing here, we've got the field grouping there. So let's zoom out so we can see. We've got entity, which is predefined. Entity ID is a site for this one because that's what we're passing in. Then we're aggregating on the sum. We're passing the field groupings through the field groupings. Then the time zone here, what we will do is we're going to do something like time zone, or I'm not sure if null values will work nicely. Hey Jack, Jack's here. This is your API, buddy. It is fun to work with. I'm not gonna lie. Can I just pass UTC as a default value? If would passing null be a better option here? That's what I'm not 100% sure on. What I'm going to do while I debate that in my head is just grab this little snippet there because I know I need that, and I'm just going to put that under there. So yeah, we failed. Then at the end, we're just going to quickly dump on the response JSON, and let's just run it. Let's see what happens when I run. Not that one. That one. So bad method exception. Add be explicit and pass UTC. You can't have. So if I pass null, will it just default to UTC still? Basically, something failed. Something failed. I don't like it when things fail. Authenticate with query. Okay, so I know why. Wait a minute. We're not sending it. Silly Steve. Bang. Oof. Error with aggregate blah is unsupported. Okay, so we're passing through an empty. Okay, we need to work on this. Yeah, required. What's required at this stage? All of these are optional. Aggregate is required, so I do need to pass through that. That sum. So I'm going to sum. But before I do that, I'm going to just click, go through help. So on sum, I know I can, I could actually just grab all of that, stuff it. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Do I? No, I don't. Page view, not page views. Ah, my bad. Sorry, Jack. I feel like I'm getting like, is it on there as well? No. Oh, there. Entity is page view, is it? Yes, and then within that page view, I get you. That's my fault. That's me not paying attention. The entity is a page view. Yeah, makes sense because that's the entity and not the grouping aggregate thing. So over here, we want to sum. For now, I'm just going to sum against browser. And just delete that help. 400. Error. Browser is not a supported field in field grouping. Okay. So the field grouping, I thought it was. Let's have a look. What am I doing wrong? Let's look at my my poor. Where's poor gone? Here you go. Field grouping aggregate on visit. Oh, sum visit. And then then we want to grouping on browser. Visit is not allowed. Visits would be specific. Here we go. We got there. So we got it. We've got stuff. I don't know how I'm going to display this. This is the main thing. This is very specific data. I'm not really sure how to get through this to display. Oh, my wife's just sent me a GIF. Is this her? Oh, she's wondering where I am. It's 10 o'clock, Steve. You've been streaming for 2 hours and 14 minutes. So yeah, I might leave it at that because I need to have a little bit of a think of some of this. Maybe I need to like generate some specific things from a CLI that you'd want to do and allow other people to PR other reports and how they'd. The thing is, displaying as a table isn't going to work because I don't always know what the heading of the row is and what the data is and how it's going to be displayed. Because I could change this. I could change this from browser to let's group on the from browser to like path name, for example. Re-input command. So instead of browser, we do path name. And then when that comes out, it's got visits and path name. It's very different. I mean, yeah, it would look good on a table, but as soon as you get 50, You got a baby waiting for it. Just come through. Come through. People won't mind the baby. I'll even hold her. She can come on screen. As you know, look, if I've got 50 results there. That on the table is not going to look nice. I don't know what I can do from an aggregate perspective, or whether you'd want to do things like aggregates. Something to think about. I have been going for 2 hours. That baby's going to be hungry. Yeah, I'm going to take that as my time to exit. I think that I don't know what more I can do this very second. We're just going to quickly do a commit on this one and do stream ahoy, loads of stuff added. Check out the link for this. That bang push. There we go. So time period by default is UTC. So you don't need to actually pass a time zone. This is optional. So it doesn't. That's not how I want it to be done. I'll have a look at that. Again, I'll look at this next time. So git status all done, and that is again. I'm going to pass that link in. Feel free to have a look. Feel free to have a play. This isn't a finished thing. This is something that's going to be played with. Loads of stuff. I haven't done any documentation yet other than the setup. We'll play. Thursday, we will carry on with this. And what we might do, if it's okay with Jack, is maybe build an SDK, an unofficial SDK for Fathom, either in PHP for Laravel or in pure PHP using my PHP SDK library. We'll see. We will see. But for now, we'll call it a night. Thank you very much for turning up. Thanks for tuning in. See you Thursday.